Hello, everyone, and you're about to listen to our Westeros After Hours pilot episode. It's a brand new Game of Thrones podcast that my friend Bob and I have started. I'm Sean, and the other guy you hear in this podcast is Bob. I just wanted to let you guys know this is going to be kind of a weekly thing going on during season 6, and Bob and I are very excited to get this going. Now, we just kind of wanted to clarify that that this is going to be something that goes on during season 6 and we'll continue afterwards. We kind of explained that in the podcast, but I just wanted to clarify. Although Bob's not with me while I'm recording this, don't worry, he's in this whole entire thing, so it's great, it's fun. But I hope you enjoy this. We are very passionate about doing this. We really obviously both enjoy Game of Thrones, so it's something that we're really looking forward to share with everyone, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.
And winter is coming.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
For the watch.
So and that's when she said, "Oh, it's Brianna Tarth. I thought it was Brianna Fart." And I'm like, "You're a fucking idiot. You're a dope." All right, that's all. That's the joke. All right, hey, welcome to Westeros. Welcome to Westeros After Hours. Great way to start. This is our podcast. This is the pilot.
Yes.
And we're going to be talking about Game of Thrones. Yes. The whole podcast. Every episode.
Yes.
Every episode is Game of Thrones.
This first episode will be our predictions for season 6.
Season 6, yes.
Which starts in less than 2 weeks now.
Well, by the time this comes up, it will be about a week. So around a week. I'm very excited.
Yes,
as you can imagine.
I'm mega excited. You have watched the series to its completion 3 times since the end of season 5.
3 times, yes.
So.
Yes. No, I'm probably too excited, like scary, like medically scary excited, like I might have to go to the hospital a few times because
I
it's.
Don't think that's true.
Well,
but
we'll see.
Pretty close.
We'll see. We're almost there. But anyway, so this is kind of going to be like a weekly thing. Mm-hmm. We're kind of going to do this throughout season 6. After every episode.
Spoilers, obviously.
Oh well, yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. We'll do we'll kind of do an episode a week about the episode that came out Sunday. We'll probably post the podcast around Wednesday or Thursday. So it will probably come out around then. Maybe early, maybe later. Shit happens, you never know. Mm-hmm. But and once the season ends, we'll do like a season wrap up, and we'll do maybe like we'll do some more. We'll go back to some seasons. We'll go back to some episodes, and maybe we'll do this like once a month or a few times a month during the off season. But the season is starting soon, so we kind of started a good time. A good time. So so before we dive into this, obviously spoilers. Up to season 5.
Yep, up through season 5,
and probably some of season 6. If you don't want, if you want to go into this blind, don't, because we're going to be
especially having not watched if you haven't watched either of the trailers or the teaser, you might just want to stay away.
Right. Yeah, we're going to be referencing the teasers and the trailers a little bit. So you can check that out if you want. If you don't, then
youtube.com/Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Okay. If you don't, then fucking get out of here. Bye. We love you. All right. So spoilers. It's not happening. So basically, right now, just to prove, I got a little sheet of paper right here.
I like the little wiggle you did there.
Yeah, I like that too. I got a sheet of paper here full of a bunch of shit, a bunch of plot lines, and a bunch of shit we're going to talk about. We're going to run through that. I have 10 plot lines.
With little subdivisions of each plot line.
Yeah, basically asking. Yeah, so we're going to go through this. This is going to be a lot. I think we're going to go through each of them relatively slow, because I think we're going to talk about what happened, what we think is going to happen, but what we want to happen, or what we expect to happen, or at the same time what we don't expect to happen. Because Game of Thrones is about not
it's about expecting the unexpected.
It's about expectations, and it's about how the show could possibly break those expectations.
Yes. So
there's a good chance everything we say will be wrong, which is what makes this fun, I think. So we're going to start off with the biggest question. The biggest question everyone keeps asking: how's Bran Stark doing? How's Brandon Stark doing?
How's Mr. Brandon?
How's Mr. Brandon?
As we all know, we have not seen him at all since the end of season 4.
Yes, he was not in season 5, which I'm gonna be honest, kind of was a little upsetting, because I actually really like Brandon Stark.
That was like the more mystical side of the storyline too.
Yeah, that was the most mystical, and that's maybe that's what was missing from season 5. We'll talk about season 5 in a different video podcast episode. But right now, let's get back on track to Brandon Stark. So, so a lot has happened since last we've seen him alone. Pictures and screenshots. He looks like obviously he's 2 years older since we last seen him. The actor Isaac, I believe his name is. is 2 years older, something like that. I don't know. Is 2 years older. So obviously he looks much older. And during this off time, the actor in the show and a lot of other people have explained that, oh, well, he's training. He was training with the Three-Eyed Raven. He was doing his own thing. That's where we left off. We left off with Jojen dying, which I was a little upset by because it actually didn't happen in the books. Or maybe it did. And if it did, I'll correct myself in post. I'll let you know. Pretty sure it happened. So, also in the show, what's that girl's name? Begins with M, doesn't it?
What do you mean? You mean Jojen's sister?
Yeah. Is it
Mira?
Mira? Yeah, it's Mira.
Mira.
In the books, Bran actually has like an interest in her, like he wants to. I don't know if he's in a relationship with her or he wants to be. They didn't really cover that in the show, but now they're alone in the tree. You never know. All right, but I think the biggest question is what role does Bran Stark play? Because obviously he arguably might play the most important role.
I mean, he is definitely going to play a big role in this whole thing with the White Walkers and all that.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say right now what exactly that role is going to be.
Well, here's my prediction. I don't know if this is going to happen this season, but if you remember the last time you saw Bran, the Three-Eyed Raven said to him, "You will never walk again, but you will fly." Mm-hmm. Now my prediction is he can warg.
Yes, he is a warg.
There are dragons. I really think this Dragonfire will be able to kill the White Walkers.
Yes.
Therefore, Bran will be the savior through the dragons. I know some will say it's a stretch, but we got the dragons going around. Drogo.
It's Drogon.
Drogon.
And I don't remember the other two.
The other two. One of them's Viserys. Is named after Viserys.
It's Drogon, Viserion, and
Rhaegar is the other one's named after Rhaegar. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. I'm sure people. Whatever. Yeah. If you know the names, let us know. Give a fuck. All right. So I think
it would be Rhaegon.
I think his role in the end will be with the White Walkers. I mean, we don't. Obviously, Bran has really no part in anywhere else.
No.
Besides the North, I think he's going to be the savior of the North, and I think But now we're going to talk about.
He is suspected dead by almost everyone right now, other than.
Right.
Sansa.
He is the most disconnected from everything else, which is why now he can kind of travel through time, not physically but mentally.
Yeah.
That's a thing he can do now through the weirwoods, and that makes sense because he was disconnected. He doesn't know about the Red Wedding. He has no idea about the Red Wedding. He doesn't. He's never saw his father die. He doesn't know about all this shit. Now now we're going to reference the first trailer and the second trailer. They show what looks to be a Tower of Joy flashback. We see men in Targaryen armor, and it looks to be in the south where the Tower of Joy is, near Dorne. Near Dorne. I don't know if it's in Dorne, but near in the south.
Yes.
So do you think that this is going to be a flashback like we saw with Cersei in season 5, where we went back to her childhood and we just kind of through her, or do you think we're going to see it through Bran's eyes?
I mean, it leaves room for speculation in that regard, but I have a feeling that it might be through Bran. It might just be, again, like him. That might be one of the things he goes back when he's learning to use the weirwood.
Now, a lot of, obviously, popular theory, I don't think this is any, is who Jon Snow's parents are, being Rhaegar Targaryen and Ned's sister Lyanna being his parents. Now, that's a theory I used to subscribe to, and I actually subscribe to that less and less because I think, that would be too easy.
Yeah.
But let's just say that is. Do you think if that is, we're going to find that out here, or do you think they're just kind of what purpose is that going to show? Because with Cersei, it revealed that like how she is afraid of getting replaced and that her children are going to die, which one of those things happened in season 5.
Yeah.
Marcella died. Spoiler, we already covered that shit. And now, I mean, Marjorie's not replacing her. Because she has no... Well, she's not.
She's also still in prison.
Yeah, but I mean, she didn't really replace her. They tried to, and that was a big thing. It's why
her whole motivator was that she just wanted to be queen, but she didn't really have anything to do when she got there.
Right.
Other than have sex with Tommen, and that was about it. And then she got thrown in jail with her brother.
Yeah. But basically, that flashback played an important role in the season. Now, if we see that, that will have to play, and they're not just going to show that for fan service, and if they do, that would kind of suck.
Yeah.
I think it has to hold some weight to it.
Yeah. And especially since Game of Thrones isn't exactly the fan service kind of show.
Oh, no.
Not at all.
It's not, which is what I'm hoping doesn't become.
Yes.
And that's why I think the whole Jon Snow's parents being Rhaegar and Lyanna, I think that would, I know it wouldn't be fan service because it's just a theory that people thought of, but I feel like it would almost be. Like, I don't know.
Although I've heard in interviews that when the showrunners were starting the show, George R. R. Martin asked them who they thought
who were, and they couldn't make the show unless I got it right, and they did.
And they did.
Oh
boy.
We'll see. We'll figure that out. But that's about all for. Well, before we move on from Bran Stark, I'm really excited for him coming back. I'm really excited to see how he plays Children of Force, Three-Eyed Raven, what role they're gonna play. And I'm gonna be honest. I think this is the plot I'm most excited for. I really think this is the plot
We've also had time away from the plot for it to cultivate in our minds. Right. So we're more anxious to get back to it and see what's going on exactly.
Yes, I am. This is. If I had to pick one character, to be the not the main star, but the focal point of the first episode, I would like to be Bran Stark. I really want to see what Bran Stark's going on. They haven't really advertised it much. It's shown some screenshots, and they did show the Tower of Joy, but we don't even know if that is Bran Stark. That's just
that's true.
We don't know.
It could just be Cersei's flashback from last season.
Right, but through who? Because Ned Stark's dead. Exactly. The only two that survived that was Ned Stark and Howland Reed. Now Howland Reed is the father of Jojen and Mira, so that could play something into that. Maybe not through Mira, but maybe. I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah. It's very interesting, and I'm very interested to see what that has to play and what Bran Stark's role is, and I think those two are connected. Mm-hmm. But whatever. So now we're gonna move on from Bran Stark, which another plot, which I'm also very excited for, and it's Sam and Gilly. Well, Sam and Gilly are going to Old Town. Yes. Now they're traveling there through boat. I think they mentioned that last season, but we know it because in the last trailer it showed them on a boat. But I think a question is, do you think we're going to see the trip, or do you think it's going to be... Do you think the whole season, or not the whole season, but a majority of the season is going to be the trip, or do you think they're going to do show a little bit of the trip the first episode or so, and then that's it? Or do you think that, you know what I mean, is the trip going to be...
I think that it might be... The first episode is going to have some of the trip, and they're going to arrive near the end of the first episode.
Okay.
And once they arrive, they're going to learn the news of Jon Snow's death, and Sam is going to be conflicted whether or not to go back to Castle Black or not. Yeah. Just in grievance for his friend.
So in the books, she actually is sent somewhere, I believe she is.
Gilly?
Yes, and we're going to talk about that. But right next to Old Town, which is where they're going, is Hornhill.
Okay.
Where the Tarleys live.
Oh, wow.
So do you think we're going to see Sam's parents? I think it is a huge possibility. In the books, they're actually way ahead of this, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. Not way, but they are. This is the only plot line they're ahead of. And Sam actually sends Gilly to live with his parents.
Oh.
And his mother specifically, because his mother is pretty cool.
Yeah.
His father is kind of a dick, Randall Tarley. But do you think we're going to see them at all?
I don't think we will see them.
You don't think
we
so?
may hear them talked of and about, and they may play some kind of role, but I don't think we're going to see them physically.
Because, it's right next to it. Old Town and, Hornhill are literally, right next to each other. In Dorne. They're both in Dorne.
I mean, there's definitely a possibility.
I really do. I am actually going to disagree. I think they are. I don't think they're going to maybe have an important role, but I think we're going to at least see them. I think it's important. But now, Sam, what's his role now? Because his role is much different now. I mean, he was not, I guess, now will he become the Maester, or is he going to just become kind of someone who uses his knowledge to help the Night's Watch, or is he going to have his own agenda? Because he is still a member of the Night's Watch, but he's just training.
Yeah, I mean,
Citadel.
What's left of the Night's Watch now is so hostile to him.
And yeah. I mean, John was his only friend, and he died. Mr. died. Everyone's
And they Thorne may just call him a deserter since he's going to become a Maester.
Well, I don't think so.
Just to try to cut all Jon Snow stuff gone.
Do you think so? Because I don't think so. Because I think that he's fine with it because he doesn't have to deal with them. And I think that's not really desertion. You know what I mean? Going to train is what you have to do. And he did decide to become. I don't know if did he decide to become a Maester? I kind of missed it actually in the new season.
Well, I mean, he was going to the Citadel. So
he was going to the Citadel.
What you do.
Yeah. It's basically the forefront of knowledge. It's where it's the where you want to go to learn. basically.
It's the Library of Congress.
Now, the last thing we're going to talk about this plot is...
That was not a true statement.
It's not, no. What do you think he's going to learn here? Do you think he's going to learn about Jon Snow's death? Do you think he's the one who's going to learn about Jon Snow's true parents? I don't think... Maybe about not Jon Snow's true parents, because how would he have that information? If that information was present, everyone would know. But do you think he's going to find out... What do you think he's going to learn here? Because obviously he's going to learn something important.
Yeah. Well, it's not widely accepted fact throughout Westeros that Tommen's a bastard, right?
Throughout... Well, with Stannis kind of like...
Well, that was his claim to the throne.
Well, in season 1, there wasn't any. But then Stannis sent out the letters in season 2 to everyone. So, yeah, it's a pretty common thing. And King's Landing especially. Pretty much everyone knows in King's Landing.
That's true.
But no, I would say yes. That's a common... It's a common...
So
thought.
that wouldn't be anything.
I just don't think anyone's brave enough to question it or fight against it except for Stannis.
Okay.
That was Stannis' whole thing. And now Stannis is dead, presumably. Yeah. Well, he's dead. I think we can
safely
assume he's dead. Yes.
Brienne isn't someone to not finish the job in that kind of situation.
Yeah, he's dead. So it's going to be interesting. So I think so. No, it is a commonly known thing, at least by the highborns, or at least the people who, the maesters, people who receive the letters. Maybe lowborn don't really know it, but yeah, it's a commonly accepted thing. So I don't think that's something he's going to learn, because I don't know if he knows it or that's really relevant to his plot line. But I don't know. I don't know what I think. There's going to be something he learns. I think he's going to learn it near the end of the season, or near the end of the season. I think it's going to be. It's going to be something. It's going to be huge. Like, I think it's going to be something where he has to either ride back to Castle Black or go somewhere to deliver the information. I think it's going to change the whole story. I really do, because I can't see what other role he would have there.
Yeah, I mean, he could just become a maester and then go back, but that's not
boring. Not going to happen. Yeah, we know that. All right, that's fine. That's pretty good. So we can move on from that.
Yeah.
I think our final predictions for that is
discovering something big.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we can predict, because it's almost unpredictable. Yeah. I don't even know what he will... Sam has been... all right, before we go, how big do you think that plot's going to be? Because, you know how some plots get treated more, better than others. I mean, last season alone, we had a lot of, Cersei, and we had a lot of Tyrion, but we didn't really have much of, Brienne and Pod, you know what I mean? They were very... So you think it's going to be like that? You think he's going to be pretty important, like almost every episode, or you think only a few episodes?
I think it might be almost every episode, but not more than once each episode that they go over.
Okay, that's fair. All right, so all right. That's a fair assumption. All right, so now we're going to move on to a different plot line, specifically Jorah Mormont and Daario. Just those two, not the whole just those two. But we are going to start off with, of course, the question, what is the fate of Jorah? I mean, we know the fate, that he's going to die, that he has grayscale, and he's most likely going to die. Yeah. Think it's going to happen this season? I mean, it almost feels like it has to.
I don't think it's going to happen this season, unless something happens, between him and Daenerys, that he loses, all hope trying to, find her and be a servant of hers.
So... Yeah, I mean, he at this point he's almost like a ticking time bomb.
That's true.
He's basically...
The grayscale can only get worse.
Get worse. He's basically doomed to die, but do you think he's going to die? Now, the other question is, do you think he actually is going to die? Because, again, talking about predictability, it seems like, oh, well, now he's going to die, we know it. Or do you think because I kind of actually forgot he had it. By the end of the last season, he kind of with the whole fighting pits, we kind of forgot that he had it. You know what I mean? So do you think they kind of show it and then kind of forget about it and then bring it back out of nowhere, and then he dies? Or do you think
I think it's always just going to be a lingering thing that everyone knows about.
But no one knows about it now. That's the thing.
Well, I mean everyone. I mean the audience. Overly aware of it.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep into Mormont and Daario, but we're gonna go into Daenerys. Do you think they're gonna find her?
Yes.
But
this is a tough one, because I don't know. exactly how far she is. She's been taken by Jorah.
I think she's been taken. Oh, okay. Well, in the trailer, one of the trailers they show them picking.
Are they back at Vaes Dothrak or?
I think Daenerys says yes.
Okay.
But they see Jorah and Dario pick up the ring. They show that. Oh, not Dario. Jorah Mormont picks up the ring that she dropped. Which, by the way, may I add, I actually do not like that. The fact that she drops the ring and they find it, like, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, unless they...
Well, I mean, she could be leaving a trail for them to find her. She knows people are going to be coming looking for her.
Right, but I mean, that ring, though, like, just dropping in the middle of a field out of nowhere, unless they see the dragon there. Maybe they find her through the dragon, and then once they find the dragon, they see the ring.
Well, that's the only way they could really track her in the first place, is find the path of destruction of Drogon.
But how is that ring going to help them find her?
I mean, it kind of just shows them that they're on the right track, and that's about it.
Guess I don't know. I don't like that. I'm strongly against the whole ring thing.
Maybe they just get a bunch of bloodhounds and just be like, "Smell this, find her."
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of against that ring thing. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. Maybe it's just me. It's probably just me. But I don't. Well, no, probably not, because everyone bitches about everything. But I don't like that. Now, the last thing with this plot is we talked about Jorah Mormont a lot. But what about Dario? Because Dario is kind of a mystery within itself. We don't really know much about him.
Yeah. He's kind of just been like the mercenary badass this whole time who is just like...
Whatever. But he obviously doesn't trust Jorah Mormont, to be fair, for good reasons.
Yes.
Although I love Jorah, and he's definitely in the right.
Yes.
They don't know that. They don't know him, especially Dario.
No.
But I think that Dario is... Do you think... I mean, Dario's going to be like an obstacle for Jorah to get to Dany? Or do you think he's really going to assist him? Because Dario was the one, like, look, I'm going with you. Like, you're not doing this alone. I'm going to be fucking with you. I'm going to keep my eyes on you, my sword at your back. Like, do you think he's going to be the one who's going to be like... Because I think he kind of sees him as, like, not an obstacle in his goal to get with Daenerys, but as someone who, you can't really trust him. And you can't really trust Dario either. Both of them are kind of untrustworthy. We don't really know anything about Dario.
No, we don't.
We don't. And do you think we're going to learn about him? Or do you think it's just going to be... He's just kind of going to be there?
I mean, we could, like, Jorah and Dario could grow close on this journey, depending on how long it is. Mm. Like, they could, like, talk their pasts to each other. And we can learn more about Dario through that. But other than that, I don't see us learning anything.
Yeah, I'm just curious on what he's going to do, because we see a lot of Jorah, but maybe this is a prediction. I'm gonna go out. I'm not gonna say that I think this will happen or even want this to happen, but I think it's a strong possibility.
Yeah.
Perhaps Dario's the one that kills Jorah. He gets the grayscale. He meets Daenerys. That finally whatever, and then he has to kill him.
Okay.
That could be a possibility, because the grayscale doesn't kill you. The grayscale just turns you into a fucking monster. So, like, I think grayscale actually can kill you. I might be wrong about that. Or they kill you. I don't know if grayscale, the self-disease, can kill you, or if it's it's the people who kill them.
I think it would be the people, because when they were going through
Shireen?
No, like when Jorah and Tyrion
were going through the
ruins.
Yeah, the ruins where they're cast off to.
Yeah.
They survive, but perhaps it's like you can die from it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But they seem to have been there for quite a while.
Right. It seems to me like the chicken pox, except they're forever, and it turns you into a monster. And whatever. So I think that maybe, you know what I mean, who's going to kill Jorah if he is going to turn this season. I think he actually is. I think this is the season, because it happened around halfway through last season. Mm-hmm. And I just think that it's going to happen. I really do, because I think this is the time. I don't think they can delay it anymore. I think
that's true.
But if they even find her, because they might not find her this season, but we don't know that. So now we're going to move on, not too far from that. Actually, probably basically the same thing as to Daenerys. We're going to move to her. Yep. She's now with the Dothraki. It is confirmed she's going to Vaes Dothrak. Yep. So the question is she... We know at first, at least, she's going to be treated kind of shitty. The Dothraki really don't like Daenerys. They don't really have a good relationship with her. Do you think she's going to like be the damsel in distress? Or do you think she is going to get them on her side?
Damsel in distress is not a word I would ever use to describe Daenerys.
I wouldn't either, but around the Dothraki?
I don't know. I mean, at least she speaks the language, so that helps her out a bit.
True.
True. I think she'll find a way to kind of not really get free, but to alert others of her location.
Not even get free, just get them on her side.
That might be
difficult.
Reaching a little bit.
You think so?
Yeah. I don't know if she'd be able to do that.
So why?
Just because of the way the Dothraki are.
Yeah. So what's the purpose of the Dothraki? Why would they capture her? I'm thinking like, what would be the?
They just happened upon her, and they're like, "Oh yeah,
I don't know. I mean, imagine if she gets a Dothraki on her side, and then she has the Unsullied on her side, and then the people of Marine on her side. Like, dude, she's fucking like, she can go to Westeros and just kick ass with just that.
Yeah. With
that shit. But then the question is her place in Westeros, because she's never spent any time there. I think she was she born there? I don't even know if she was born there.
Yes, they were taken away
as soon as she was born.
Not like as soon as she was born.
No,
they were taken from Dragonstone when they were really
little. Yeah. So do you think that her place is really in Westeros, or her place is in Marine? But maybe it's not Marine anymore because she's not there anymore, and maybe things will shift off, and we're going to talk about Marine way later on, actually, pretty near the end. We're gonna kind of get away from that. But is her place in Marine anymore, or is it somewhere else?
I think she's been trying to fix Marine for long enough now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. We're talking about this once we get the Marine. I actually hate the Marine plot.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not. I don't like it. I heard a lot of people say they don't like it in the books.
Yeah.
I don't. They've been there for like what, a season and a half. They were there all season 5 and most of season 4.
Yeah.
They took it in season 4, so pretty much 2 seasons almost. And
it's kind of dragging at this point. I mean, dragging.
I'm got him. I'm sick of Marine in Daenerys' hands, but in Tyrion yeah. It could be pretty badass. And actually, in the books, Marine holds a different role, but we're going to talk about that. We'll get to Marine later, so we'll get back to Daenerys.
Yeah.
Let's just finish off Daenerys by saying, is this a turning point for her? Because I think another thing we didn't address is, we probably should address it at the beginning, but we'll do it now. Fuck it. I think the show, or at least it's I don't know if it's projected to, or it's stated, or hinted at, to have 8 seasons. Yeah. Is what is kind of what they're saying. So I mean, this is season number 6. Think about this. There's only 30 episodes left of the show. If that's the case. So this is the season where the final plot points are coming.
Yeah. Like
if they haven't already, like they're turning around. So I think this is the point. So really quick, we're actually going to go off tangent for a little bit. Yeah. So we're going to talk about the roles. So I feel like the roles of each season. So I feel like season 1, what it did is it set up everything.
It was very much so.
It was the setup of the War of the Five Kings.
Yes.
That's what it set up, right? Season 2, and season 3 for that matter, was the War of the Five Kings.
Yes.
That's what it was. It showed, Renly's defeat, Robb Stark's, everyone's defeat. Mm-hmm. That was the season 2 and season 3. So season 2 and season 3 are kind of like connected almost. I feel like they're almost like one long season.
Yeah.
And then after that, it kind of became disconnected. Season 4 was after the War of the Five Kings. Mm-hmm. So pretty much all those plot lines were over. Obviously, people were where they were, but the War of the Five Kings was pretty much over. Stannis was doing a different thing. Robb Stark's dead. Renly's dead. We don't even see Balon anymore. So that was kind of... Season 4 started its own thing. Yeah. Season 4 kind of started a bunch of plots.
It started with Joffrey dying.
It started a bunch of different plots, like Sansa going to the Eyrie, even though they changed that from the books, because in season 5 she's kind of supposed to be there, whatever. Jaime went to the Riverlands. Of course, that changed too, but we're going to talk about Jaime in a little bit. Don't worry about that. Mm-hmm. So I think each season has a role, and like I said, season 2 and season 3 was the war, and season 4 was kind of like the aftermath, kind of like dealing with a lot of drama, also dealing with what's going on in the north. That kind of started something, the war that happened in the north, which continued through season 5. Yeah. So I felt season 4 and season 5 were kind of disconnected from each other. Season 4 did its own thing, season 5 did its own thing, but they didn't... I mean, they played in the grand scheme of things, but I felt like a lot of the plots in season 4 and season 5 were, like, just for that season.
Yeah,
like
they haven't really been leading to much.
Yeah, like the Oberyn plot was just for that one season.
Yeah.
Sansa in the Eyrie, Sansa in Winterfell, just for one season. Arya with the Hound, and then and it was just for one season. And obviously, I think what season 5 did is season 5 basically got everyone in a different place. Like, they moved everyone. They moved Sansa to Winterfell. They moved Dany from Marine to outside of Marine. Like, that's what the season did, is moved everyone, and kind of the last episode itself set up everything for season 6.
Yes.
Set up everything. Mm-hmm. Everything. So I feel like season 6 is going to be... I feel like season 6, season 7, and season 8 are going to be all connected. I really do. And I feel like we're going to be seeing the final plot points, falling into place.
Yeah.
Forming. But I think this is. Do you think now I'm going back all the way back? I know I had a little tangent going on. Back to Daenerys. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about. Do you think that this is the point where she turns around?
What do you mean by turns around?
Turn around by meaning like her focus changes from whatever she was doing in season 4, season 5, which honestly was kind of just the whole slave thing. In season 3, she was doing it too, trying to get rid of the slaves, control the dragons. Think she's going to turn from that to going to the Iron Throne, or do you think she's going to try to go back to Marine? Like where I feel like where her goal is at either the beginning or the end of the season is where she's going to end up. I really do, because I feel like if she's going to go to Westeros and take the Iron Throne, I feel like they need to kind of start moving that now.
Yeah.
And if they do, that would make sense to get the Dothraki on her side. Mm-hmm. That would move her forward even more.
Yeah, definitely. But there's still the obstacle of getting the Dothraki to agree to go across the narrow sea.
Right. She almost had it in season 1.
Well, she had that particular Khalasar.
She had
Khal Drogo's people.
She had Khal Drogo's.
But
yeah, this is a different Khal. Yeah, exactly.
This is an entirely different Khalasar.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. They did. I don't know if they mentioned it in the trailer. I don't think they mentioned it in the trailer, but they did. Like it's known, like who it is like, oh, it's just blah blah blah. Oh yeah, that Cal. Yeah. No idea who he is, but yeah, she did have Khal Drogo through the marriage. She could marry again, but I don't think it's gonna happen. She's married.
Well, she's set. She hasn't married him yet, but she was set to marry the guy. I can't remember his name.
I don't either. We know the slave family, part of the family.
Yeah, he's the one. Yeah. Oh, did he die?
Yes, he died.
Oh, he died.
Remember, Sons of the Harpy.
Oh, okay.
Him. Yeah, he died. He's dead. He didn't die in the books, but he did die.
Okay.
Yeah, he's totally dead. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. She's gonna be with the dragon, because we saw in the trailer the dragon Drogon is there. I can never pronounce the name. Is there? He is there in Valas Dothraki. We see it in the trailer from flying over. So I think that dragon's gonna help her there, and then the other two are gonna be with Tyrion and whatever. We're gonna talk about that later. Mm-hmm. So that's about Daenerys. Overall prediction of Daenerys is I think that she is. I think this is gonna be where she turns around. I think this is where she really like either gets the army she needs to go to Westeros, or finds something else for her character to do, to really like set her on her path to the final moments of the show. Because I feel like this is the final plot lines need to be forming here, because when you think about it, think about I'll use Robb Stark for example, because his ended in season 3, his whole plot line that started like halfway through season 1, so that was a long. So I think you know what I mean. We need to kind of start the plot lines now. I think they need to start forming. I think Daenerys is, because she's the biggest mystery. Like, what is her? Like, who is she? I mean, she can't just settle down Marine. That would suck. That'd be terrible. Because like I said, I don't like her Marine. She doesn't belong there. It doesn't really fit her. She kind of belongs somewhere.
She doesn't. She's too opposed to anything slightly slavery.
Yeah.
To exist in Marine and not have
Marine's
all the masters.
Civilized, but it's not like as civilized as King's Landing is. She would fit better in King's Landing, but I don't think it's going to happen, or at least not now. I think she fits better with the Dothraki, so I'm interested to see what goes on there. And I'm just going to throw out the prediction. I think this is. I think she's gonna get. I really do think she's gonna get the Dothraki on her side. Whether it takes the whole season, probably. Get her on her side. Get them. Oh my god, I can't speak. Get the Dothraki on her side, and find a destination to go to. I think it's gonna happen, but maybe it won't. Yeah. Maybe something completely different will happen. I suppose we will see. I think, and I know we keep talking about Daenerys so much. I actually really like Daenerys.
Yes.
I think that how much are they gonna focus on her? Because I don't think she's going to be a huge focus this season. I think she's going to be big, but I think they're going to focus on other characters. Yeah, there's so many to focus on. I think she's going to be, because I think she's going to be something they kind of did with season 1. Like, you know how she focused season 1? She was there a lot, but like not as much as she was later on. I think they're going to go back to that. I think she's going to probably be,
especially since she's basically on her own right now. Yeah, like, she has no allies with her at all.
Yeah, I think they're going to kind of. I don't know. I think Daenerys is going to be a little less focused on, which I wouldn't mind. I'm all right with that, because I'm interested in some other plots. But we'll see. So that's our predictions. Now we're going to move to number 5. This is 5 out of 10. I wasn't naming them now. Yeah. And this is something I actually am probably the most excited for is Sansa and Theon.
Okay.
Particularly Sansa. So let's first talk about what do you think is going to happen to them, Sansa and Theon. Let's just start with Theon. Now, do you think? Because obviously what happened, they escaped Winterfell from Ramsay Bolton and the Boltons in general, and now they're running away. So we do see some clips with Brienne fighting in North, but we also see her in other places too. So maybe she won't be a part of that. But do you think like Sansa and Theon are like
Do you think Theon's doomed to die? Is basically what I'm asking. Because I have a feeling that Theon's gonna die. I really don't want Theon to die, and I know that actually we're not gonna talk about this here because it'll be whatever. I can only fit so much. We're actually not gonna talk about the Greyjoys because the Greyjoys actually have a huge part in the new season. Like this Yara, and now we meet his uncles are huge in the books.
Yeah.
So we're not really gonna talk about that because I think he's gonna be disconnected from that. But do you think Theon is like doomed to die? Is what I'm asking.
So I think that if Theon can if his mind is broken past what was tortured into him by Ramsay,
Right.
he may be fine, but
Right.
he is so unbelievably traumatized by
he's
Ramsay.
he's basically he's fucked in the head. Clearly.
It took everything he had to jump off of that with Sansa.
Yeah.
So
I think he's ready to get the fuck out of there because I think he like Sansa is her family. Like that's a saving grace. It's Sansa.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't be able to do it for anyone else, but he saw her get raped. He saw her just get tortured, and that broke him. I feel like, and that really hurt him.
Yeah.
So I think he is ready to get the fuck out of there just as much as she is. But I'm just asking, like, do you think something's gonna happen to him? Is what I'm asking. Because that could, I mean, if Ramsay catch up with them, I feel like he will kill Theon. I feel like at this point he's gonna kill him.
Yes.
Like he won't kill Sansa because he needs her.
yeah,
he needs her to
legitimize his claim to the north.
To the north, exactly. But I think Theon just need him. So I'm afraid that Theon's gonna die. Look, I'm gonna be honest.
Alfie Allen, why?
Theon is the character that everyone fucking hated in season 1 and 2, especially season 2. And then in season 3, everyone's like, "Oh fuck, I feel bad for this guy because he was
redeemed.
He just wants someone to like him. No one likes Theon. Like his dad doesn't like Theon. The Starks really don't give a fuck about him.
Nope.
No one really cares about him. So I don't know. But all right, now Theon, whatever. Now, I think honestly, I'm gonna say this is a big prediction. I think one of the most important characters in this season is gonna be Sansa. I think Sansa is going to get her shit in line.
It depends if she gets anywhere.
Now in the trailer, we do see her. We see her dressed up very nicely in this. We see her in the news trailer with
the whole thing is like, who does she run into when she leaves?
Right.
And where does she end up after that?
Right.
If Ramsay ends up bringing her back in,
I don't think so. I think that she
ends up with Brienne and they end up going to maybe.
I don't think so because in the trailers we do see her in a northern house. She's dressed very nicely. She has leather on.
Yeah.
Not leather. Furs on rather. And we see her in the news trailer looking very nice with a couple horses behind her. I really do think this. And in the news trailer, she was actually kind of important in the news trailer. She talked about how she's showed the Red Wedding and how she was like, I'm sick of what everyone did. That they hurt me, my family. I think she is going to raise the army. I think she is going to take back Winterfell. Maybe not this season, but I think she is going to be the saving grace of the North. I really do. And I think this is because...
Well, she's the only of the Starks that everyone knows is alive. Nobody knows Arya's alive, and everyone thinks Bran and Rickon are dead.
Yes. I think that she's going to rally the North behind her. I think she's going to fuck shit. I really do. I think Sansa is going to... because here's what happens.
In the comic people's eyes, she is the last Stark.
Yeah. So in season 4, we saw Sansa escape King's Landing, go to the Eyrie, where she kind of became a little bit of a badass with Littlefinger. Littlefinger, she kind of lied for him, kind of like deceived people, and that was really cool. But then in season 5, she kind of not that her character regressed, but her position regressed. Yeah. She went back to getting beat the fuck out of, raped the fuck out of, just tortured the fuck out of, and it was like really, like really. Now I feel like Joffrey's dead. You know what I mean? So everything he did to her, whatever but she can. Ramsay Bolton is still alive. They have a huge army. I think she's going to be the one because I think they put her there. And I think they had her tortured for a whole season, which really got to me. It really pissed me off. Mm-hmm. I was really fucking very angry about that. I think that worked because I think that they put her there because that's not in the books.
Yeah.
I think they just put her there so she will be able to raise the Northern Army because the Boltons are the one who killed her family. The Boltons are the one that really fucked her over the most. Yeah. Her family over the most directly. So I think she's going to be the one to get her revenge. Whether she gets her or not, I don't know. But I think she's going to be the one who... And I think this is where this season, I think she's going to raise not necessarily raise a huge army, but she's going to get the attention of northern houses. Mm-hmm. I think she's going to get her shit fucking together. and she's gonna be fucking ready to kick the fuck out of anyone who's fucking in her way. Yes. And that's why I think Theon, I'm not predicting that Theon's gonna die, but I think Theon doesn't really have a role in that. But maybe he does. We don't know. We'll see. Do you think that's gonna happen, or are you against that?
I mean, this whole plotline is kind of hard to see where it's going next because it left like so open-ended. They just jumped off the walls and something's gonna happen. Yeah. I mean, it's wild speculation from there. They could just be recaptured by the Boltons. Right. They could.
I don't think so though.
It's just like, where do they go?
The only reason I don't think that is because the evidence I have is in the trailers. Is we see her with, inside a very nice plate, wearing nice clothes. We see her in the newest trailer looking like not beat up with an army. I think she is really going to be. I think she is gonna. I think we do know where she's gonna end up. Not necessarily with an army, but we do know where she's gonna end up fine for at least some point. Yeah, she might get recaptured. We don't know. I think that she is probably going to be one of the most important characters, and I think this is the moment where it kind of turns because she's been beating the fuck out of. I mean, you could say season 4 she wasn't, but if just say for the past 5 seasons, she's been the fucking punching bag. Yes. At least season 2 through season 5, she's been the fucking punching bag, and you can't She needs to get her fucking revenge, man. I would love for Sansa to just kill everyone who fucked her over. Even more than Arya, because, she's...
Well, if she just killed everyone who fucked her, it would just be Ramsay, but...
That's it for the podcast. I'll see you guys next week. No, but listen, I'm just saying, fuck everyone. Fuck Ramsay. Joffrey's dead. But, even, I think this is... I don't think she's going to get her revenge in King's Landing because she doesn't really need that. No. The North is where she belongs. And I think that the North is where she's going to get her. I think that's really what's going to happen. I think she's going to have that very important role in the series going forth. But we'll see. And the last question for Sansa at the end, this is the biggest one. What's Littlefinger's role in this? Because in the trailer, we see Littlefinger in the North. We see him in the snow in the North. And he was obviously with her through season 4 and some of season 5. But what's his role? What's his role in all this? I think it's really connected with her. I really do. Do you think she's gonna be? I don't think she's gonna be happy with him, man. She can't be. She has to be pissed at him because he just was like, "I'll stay with you. I'm gonna help you." And then he dropped her off, and it was like, "Oh shit, the South is calling me by," and he left. And she's like, "Oh, fuck." So,
damn.
So I would be pretty pissed at him, and he's kind of a fucking dickbag. We all know that. No, you can't trust him. Littlefinger is the least fucking trustworthy guy ever, in both fiction and non-fiction. Just terrible guy.
Yes.
Not terrible, just deceiving. So I don't know. Do you think he's gonna have a big role in this?
I can't see any reason for him to go back specifically to Winterfell right now.
Right.
After everything that happened on the outside.
Yeah.
The whole battle with Stannis and everything. He could be summoned by the Boltons because Sansa left. Mm-hmm. And they're just like, hey, you gave us this thing and now it's gone. Fuck you. But, they may try to get him to help find her. Yeah. Because he's been with her for a while. Yeah. But... other than that, I can't really see his role. He always...
His role is always unknown. His purpose is always... His motive is always unknown. Definitely. We don't know what he's doing. But I think he's going to have a role in this. Do you think he's going to... Because he's in the North for now.
Yes.
Unless he's with Ramsay Bolton, but I don't think he gives a fuck about Ramsay Bolton. I think he really gives a fuck about Sansa. Not only was he in love with her mother, but I think that he sees an interest in her. Mm-hmm. I think he's gonna try to you know what I mean?
Find Sansa,
or try to use her to either use her for his own agenda, or he's gonna try. But I'm interested in what his role is gonna be in all this. Mm-hmm. I really do. I don't know if he's gonna help her with the army. I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know.
Well, we shall see.
We shall see. I'm gonna go ahead, and my big prediction for this plot line is I think Sansa's gonna raise the army. That's mine. Do you have any? Do you agree with that, or are you against that, or?
I can't really formulate any kind of theory. Yeah. Based on this, what I've seen. She could just be. It could just be the North rallies behind her without much effort from her, because she's the last Stark.
Yeah.
Last.
Pretty much.
Although Rickon is probably back.
Right, and we didn't actually talk about Rickon, and Rickon is actually confirmed to be in season 6.
Yeah.
And we're not going to talk about it much, but actually in the book, Sir Davos is looking for him, but that's not happening in the show. Mm-hmm. But Rickon Yeah, Rickon is going to be in season 6. That is confirmed. So yeah, Rickon can be a part of this. We don't know where he is. I think they did say where he was. They didn't mention where he was going, and they do even more in the books, but I don't remember where it is. It's in the north somewhere. I know that.
He went to the Umbers.
Umbers?
Yeah.
Possibly. Maybe the Umbers are the one that helps Sansa. I don't really know. We'll figure that out. We don't really know. I think that she'll have the support of the Mormonts for Bear Island. I think she'll have the support of the Umbers. I think her and Rickon are gonna maybe get together, and Rickon will be a little older.
Yeah.
The last time we saw him, he was like 4, and a few years have passed, so he was 4. He was like 7.
Yeah, he was like 7.
Yeah. Well, no, he was 6. Well, he was 6 when the show started, but because he was 3 in the books. But so he's probably around like 10 now. The actor has to be pretty old, much older, because the last time they filmed was in like 2012 for season 3.
Yeah, that's the last time he was there. Was season 3.
Yeah, this time it was shot. So you think about that. That's 12. That's like 4 years ago, man.
Yeah.
That's like if he's like 7 now. He's I don't know. He'd be like older than Bran is now. It's weird to imagine, but we'll see. Maybe they'll switch an actor. We don't really know. We'll see what happens with that. I guess we'll see that. But we're not going to talk about any more of Rickon. Although Rickon's clearly the best character. We all know this.
Greatest character.
Yes. So now this is actually kind of probably Sansa was our longest segment so far. It was almost like 20 minutes to talk about Sansa. And I think we're actually. I think we're going to talk about this even more. Because there's so much of this, and then it's the Faith Militant versus Tyrells.
Oh boy.
So here's what we have to say with this shit. So
we did see in the trailer Jaime back in King's Landing at the Citadel talking to the High Sparrow.
Right. In the newest trailer. So is it the big question is I think it's almost confirmed. Do you think it's gonna be Lannisters and Tyrells versus the Faith Militant, or they just gonna be Tyrells? Because we do see a Tyrell army in the trailer. Because they're not having that shit. You know what I mean? You can't just fucking imprison these 2 motherfuckers. And I think this is gonna be a huge war on King's Landing. I think it's really not necessarily destroy King's Landing.
Compromise King's Landing.
I think it's really gonna split King's Landing.
Yeah.
Because that Walk of Shame, you saw how everyone fucking hated her.
Yes.
And the Faith Militant actually kind of had the people at their side. Because they do feed people. They do good thing. They don't do good things, obviously, but they do help the people to a degree, and they appear nice.
Yeah.
So I think they might have the people's side on them. And in the trailer, the High Sparrow even says, like, when you have people by your side, you can conquer an empire. So, like, I think that it's really going to be, like, the Tyrells versus King's fucking Landing with Lannister and Jaime. Tommen's really got to grow some balls.
Yeah,
right,
he's got to do something real quick.
He's the fucking king, you know what I mean? So I don't know, because I think this is going to be a huge war. I don't think this is necessarily going to be Cersei's war. I think it is to a degree. I think Cersei's pissed. I think she's going to, and I think it's going to be Jaime's war to a degree. But I think this war is really going to be in the Tyrells versus the the Faith Militant.
Yeah, I think that Cersei's beef is specifically with the High Sparrow. And
well, with all of them, really, she just hates them.
Well, because she was the one who essentially got them into power.
No, she armed them. No, Cersei's. We're not arguing that Cersei's a fucking idiot now. We all know Cersei's a fucking idiot. Her plans always never work. They always backfire. She's not as smart.
She tries so hard to be Tywin.
She's not a good tactician. She's terrible. Yeah, that's like, all right, I'm not gonna try to get too political here, but that's like when we arm like terrorists, or not terrorist groups, like groups in the Middle East. We arm them. We send them weapons to fight in wars with us, and then like later they rebel against us, and now like the most of the weapons, and again I don't want to get too political, but most of the weapons that like ISIS, for example, has, we actually gave them.
Yeah.
Back in 1991 or so, not most of them, but a lot of them, we kind of armed them. So yeah, no, she did do that. She kind of armed them, which was fucking stupid. You never arm religious fanatics, but we do. But you never do that. You never. I mean, that's obviously like no shit. That's like a common sense. But she just wanted to do that to get at Marjorie. She wanted them to get arrested. Now we're going to move to Marjorie, because obviously Marjorie is important in this. What do you think? I mean, and Sir Loras, do you think the trial is going to happen this season? Because they are going to have a trial.
I think the trial is absolutely going to happen this season. I think that the Tyrells are going to try to find some way to weasel out of it, but then I don't think they can with the way the Faith Militant's been going.
Yeah, I'm going to make a bold prediction here. This is probably the boldest prediction. I think either Marjorie Tyrell, right? They say that way. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be Marjorie Tyrell. I think it might be Loras. I think one of those two are going to die. I really do.
Yeah.
I think if Sir Loras died, that would really fuck a lot of shit up. That would really,
yeah.
You know what I mean? That would not be fucking good. I think one of them's gonna die. I don't want one of them. I like Marjorie to a degree. I mean, I like to not like her because she kind of just manipulates people, but she does it in like a good way or a cool way, I guess. I don't know. I suppose I kind of like Natalie Dormer in general, so I kind of like her character, and I do like Sir Loras. I really like Sir Loras. He's cool.
Yep.
I think he's a cool guy. And I don't want to see him die, but I think something's gonna happen to them because if they just get out and if they just beat the Faith Militant and free them, all of season 5 would have meant nothing.
That's true.
So I think there's gonna have to be a casualty here. Will it be Tommen? That's another question because Tommen is gonna die. We know by the end of the series Tommen's gonna die. We know Cersei's gonna
Who becomes king then?
Well, yeah, that's a big question. We're gonna talk about that in the future. I guess we'll talk about that in a second. But if Tommen dies, I think it might be the season or soon.
Yeah.
Because he has been king since the beginning of season 4. I know he hasn't felt like he's been king long, but he has.
He's been the least eventful king we've had.
Yeah, because he wasn't really in season 5 at all. No. He was kind of out of season. He was in their first 3 episodes, and he kind of like ditched.
Mm-hmm.
But think about it. He's been king for more than around 20 episodes at this point.
Well, he was coronated in season 4, episode 4.
I know, but I mean, once the season starts, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be at least in the first 5 episodes. But do you think? I mean, because he's going to die. He's going to die in this series because Cersei will outlive all her children. Yeah. We already had 2 of them die. Tommen's next. Think it's going to be through the Faith Militant? I mean, because he is a bastard, and he is kind of like a disgrace. Not. I mean, I don't think he is personally, but I think like as a symbol, he's kind of a disgrace as a king. You know what I mean? Call him a disgraceful king, if you will. Trademark.
Yes. But I don't know. I mean, Tommen dying would really shake things up.
Oh yeah.
In King's Landing, like immensely.
Who would be king? Question mark.
Yeah.
That's what. I mean, would it be Daenerys? I don't know. We're not gonna. That's a whole other question for itself. Let's kind of focus between the Tyrells and the Faith Militant. I think there's gonna be a casualty. I think the Tyrells are gonna try to fuck shit up. I don't think the Tyrells are gonna win. Like it seems like they're gonna win, and you want them to win, but it's just I don't think it's gonna be that easy. Yeah. They're not gonna make it that easy. And lastly, with this, how much of a role does Jaime have in this? Now, before we say a lot, because of the trailer we saw, it is important to note that he is going to be in the Riverlands this season. That is confirmed. In the trailer, we actually do see him with a Lannister army in the Riverlands. Now, I don't know if you know this, but the reason he goes to the Riverlands is to fight off some of like the not Stark supporters, but like the War of the Five Kings is over, but there's still kind of like some conflict going on in the Riverlands. So he actually goes there, and in the books, he actually meets Brienne of Tarth back there for a little bit, and we do actually see Brienne of Tarth and Pod specifically in that same Lannister camp. Yeah, so there's a good chance that they'll meet up for a little bit, and I think Jaime's going to go there, but I think that's going to be near the end of the season. I think like the last half of the season. I think the first half of the season he is going to be in King's Landing fighting them. Mm-hmm. But do you think he's going to have a big role in this? Because he is going to be in the Riverlands, so I don't know if he's going to have a big role in this.
I mean, he's going to have at least some role in it. Right. Because you saw him talking to the High Sparrow.
Yeah.
And Cersei's going to want him to have quite a bit of role.
And we actually do see him leading the Tyrell army. We see him on a horse with the Tyrell army behind him. But he is in the Riverlands. Like, how can all this be resolved and then he goes to the Riverlands? Like, there has to be some sort of, like, either defeat or, like, standhold, or maybe he leaves during the trial. I don't really know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know Jaime's role in this, but let's move on from this. But lastly, let me just say, my big prediction for this plot line is I think that one of the Tyrells, either Marjorie or Loras, I think one of them's gonna die. We never want. It's so hard to predict who's gonna die, but and you kind of like always deny it in your head. But I think one of them's gonna die.
Yeah,
I really do. And I'm saying it. That's my big prediction.
Pretty bold prediction.
All right, so we're getting to the end. We're at number 7. 4 more to go, and this one's gonna be probably the shortest one, I think. Okay. Out of all of them, and it's just talking about Dorne. Oh. And we're just gonna talk about Dorne and what they're gonna play, because they did kill Marcella. I know it was the Sand Snakes, but Dorne, technically speaking, is responsible. And Trystane is over with the Lannisters now, so the Lannisters kind of have a hostage of their own now. Yeah. So you think Dorne is gonna finally go at war with the Lannisters, or Lannisters against Dorne? Do you think? All right. I think this goes back to Cersei. I think Cersei's gonna be more pissed that her kid is dead, or more pissed of what the Faith Militant did, because she has a shit ton of problems right now. She has to deal with the militant, like she has to deal with so much shit. She still has to deal with the North, but that's pretty what's his face is gonna do, Jamie. But like,
well, if she's consistent to her character, her overwhelming drive has always been her children.
kids, yeah.
So if that's the case, her first thoughts are going to be toward just Dorne.
She hates Dorne.
Yeah,
she hates.
She hated Dorne anyway.
Yeah.
So this might make her want.
This might push her over the edge.
Yeah, it's gonna make her like enraged.
Yeah.
And try to get the Lannisters to attack Dorne.
Yeah.
And
so you think this is really gonna be the part with Dorne? War with Dorne, or do you think? Because Dorne is gonna be involved, obviously, but like, are they though? Because I think they are, but we didn't really see them in any of the trailers, any of the teasers. Maybe they want to hide that, but maybe we don't see Dorne directly. But I think we will see Dorne, if not this season, definitely that'll be in the future. But I think Dorne, I think there's gonna be shit's going down in Dorne, and I mean Sam's gonna be there. I think Dorne is gonna be. I don't know if the war will be in Dorne or in King's Landing, but I think they kind of have to go to war, don't they? I mean, they killed the fucking princess.
Yeah. I mean, because Cersei's not going to realize that it wasn't Dorne as a whole, and it was just the Sand Snakes.
Yeah, but it is kind of still Dorne is kind of responsible.
Yeah.
They are, because they had her. You know what I mean?
That's true.
You could say, well, because when they killed the Martells, Elia Martell's kids, they explained they took their fucking baby and smashed it against the wall.
Yeah.
The Mountain did that after raping Elia Martell.
Yeah, Martell.
And the Lannisters were considered responsible for that, even though it was the Mountain. But you could say, well, the Mountain's under Lord Tywin, so it's Lord Tywin. He's like Papa Lannister, so it's all the Lannisters. And I think that's the same logic will apply.
Maybe she'll just blame Tyrion for the whole thing. I mean, you know how she loves to do that, and Tyrion's the reason that Marcella was in Dorne in the first place.
Well, yeah, I think she'll blame him like not under her breath, but blame him.
Yeah.
But like blame him inside, but the real blame is on the Sand Snakes. Like, look, the Sand Snakes are kind of dicks. Mm-hmm. All right, they're kind of assholes. I really like one of them. I don't remember her name. It's the one with the short hair, who poisoned Bronn. I really liked her. She's awesome. But besides that, fuck them. Like, just die. Because who was the king? King is it Dorne? No, what's the king's name?
In Dorne?
Yeah.
Well, he's not a king. He's the Lord.
Is he?
Yeah.
What's what I meant? Lord of.
I think it's Doran.
Doran?
Yeah.
That sounds about right. He is cool. And he is a really good leader. And he's trying to form peace with the Lannisters. That's why he let them go there. Mm-hmm. But then the Sand Snakes fucked it all up. So I think he's kind of because now his son, that's his son, right? Tristan?
Yes, Tristan is his son.
Tristan is kind of like, fuck.
Yeah. He's in a terrible position right now.
He's in a terrible. Like, literally, I feel like they're going to get off the boat, and, Cersei's going to, see them coming back, and then Jaime walks off, Marcella is dead. And then she's like, what? And then, Tristan walks out, and she's just like, so the tables have turned, fuck you. I'm killing you. Not going to kill him. But I think so. He's actually supposed to sit in the small council.
Oh.
And represent Dorne.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're sending him. Is because he's supposed to sit on it's literally sit in the small council and represent Dorne. And so he really is trying to connect Dorne, the Martells and the Lannisters. He really is.
Yeah.
So there's really, there should be no reason to go at war, but the Sand Snakes just fucked everything up. They're fucking assholes because they're trying to get revenge for Oberyn, but whatever. So I think the whole Dorne situation is a mess. And my big prediction for that is either I really think that they're going to be, if there's a good chance that they might not even be in season 6 rather, and they might cast it off to season 7 or 8 or 7. But I think they're either going to have a small role, or no role, or a huge role. You know what I mean? There's no in between.
Yeah.
And I think we might not see the Sand Snakes or any of the Dornish peeps, but we definitely are going to see what happens to Tristan.
Tristan, definitely.
Yeah, but that's about it for Dorne. Do you have any comments or any concerns with that?
I think this is kind of a downbeat in their storyline, at least them particularly, specifically. The events in Dorne are kind of at a low point.
Yeah.
Everything that's going to happen with them is happening in King's Landing. It's just Cersei's wrath, essentially.
Basically. All right. So now we're going to move on to another plot line I'm interested in. Actually happens to be my favorite character, Arya Stark. If anyone doesn't know, Arya Stark is by far my favorite character. She's obviously still on Bravos with no one. I mean, he identifies as Jaqen, but he's not. No one, I suppose. Trying to still become no one. What is her role? What is her role in the overall series, you think? Because, I mean, she, like, at this point, like, what do you think, like what does she have to, like, provide to the world in general? Like, what is her point of existence at this point? Like, she's trying to become no one, right? And when she's no one, she doesn't really matter. You can kind of just be like, yeah, Arya Stark's no one, let's move on. But I don't think she's no one. And I don't think, what I mean by her role, I don't think she's going to become no one.
Yeah, I don't think she can ever.
I don't think she
stop
ever can.
being Arya Stark.
Because she kept the sword.
Yeah.
We saw her kept the sword with the whole thing with Meryn Trant. And obviously, in the trailer, I'm just going to call him Jaqen.
Mm-hmm.
Hagar.
Yeah.
Just so we're not confused. Because it's kind of, I mean, if you're just like, yeah, just call me NN. No one knows. No one now. I don't know. But you know, if we had, but whatever. I'm gonna call him Jaqen for now. I think that he said in the trailer, I'll give you a second chance, but there's no third chance. This is your last chance to become no one. She's not no one.
I don't think she can ever become.
She
no one.
kept the sword. She went after Meryn Trant, which whatever, the Meryn Trant thing can be forgiven, but she kept the sword. The sword still. She has needle. She hit it.
Yeah.
And I think that. I don't think she's gonna become no one.
Family's just too important to her.
Family's
it's too important to all Starks.
That's their pride.
It's essentially what got Ned killed.
Right. So in the trailers, we see her doing a bunch of physical shit. In the first trailer, we see her jumping off a balcony. In the second one, you see her kind of like fighting with someone.
Yeah.
We see that. So she's doing physical training, although now she's blind. So do you think her blindness won't necessarily be like a handicap, but will actually help her? Kind of a situation with Toph from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
How she can use her blindness, like she's the best fucking Earthbender.
That's true.
Because she's blind, and because So you think that's gonna be the case with her? She's gonna be able to become so fucking awesome and rad because she's blind. Do you think it's gonna help her, or do you think it's gonna be, like a handicap? And also, is that blindness temporary? Because it's not like she got stabbed in the eye. It's like a curse almost.
Yeah, I think it'll help her get motivated to become no one at first, but she will always be Arya Stark.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way for her to get past the fact.
I think the blindness is almost to kind of make her feel like she's no one. Yeah. To kind of is used to kind of make her make her feel like she's no one, but she's not. I just don't think. And if she becomes no one, I'll actually be upset because I love the character of Arya Stark. I love her pride. I love how she is. I do like this though. I do like how she's very conflicted, between becoming no one and staying herself. I just don't think she's gonna win this. I don't think she's gonna become no one. No. That's whatever. Maybe that's not her role.
Yeah, this could just be what she thinks she needs to be doing, but it's not at all.
Right.
Just based on the way her life has gone, she sees this as the only choice she has.
Right.
So, but she's never gonna stop being Arya Stark, and that is what's gonna hold her back from becoming no one.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I completely agree. But I mean, what is her? I don't know. Like, I'm just interested to see what she's gonna do, because like in season 5, look, I liked how they introduced it, which was fine, but she pretty much just swept floors the whole time, and it's like, all right. Like, I'm glad she's doing more physical stuff, but I'm really interested to see who she's gonna become, like what her future holds, basically. Yeah. I don't know. I really like Arya Stark. I'm very interested in this plot. I would say, like I said, I think Bran Stark is number 1 for me, for most excited, and then number 2 would probably be Sansa, and then Arya. Mm-hmm. But I am excited for Arya. And you can tell me what you're most excited for when we're done with this, because there's still a few more to go, and maybe you kind of forgot a few things. So we'll go through that. But I'm very excited to see what happens to Arya Stark. I think that she's going to really, really, become not necessarily no one, but someone. I know it's weird. I think she's going to become...
She's going to become someone other than Arya Stark.
Not other than Arya Stark, but she's going to grow as a person, I think, from this experience. Yeah. She fits in Bravos perfectly. Yes. Yeah, I like Arya in Bravos. I know I said I don't like...
Oysters, clams, and cocos.
Yes. Play that clip right now.
Oysters, clams, and cockles!
Thank you. I'm gonna. All right. So this is the thing we're doing. I don't know if this is. I'll keep this in or not. I probably just to explain it. Because I'm gonna be editing this. So I'm gonna address myself as Sean. So I say, Sean, put that in, and we're gonna put that in. So Sean, make sure you put that in. Oysters, clams, and cockles over Bob's or with Bob's, whatever. Fuck it, just do it, Sean. All right. But anyway, I think that she's gonna grow as a person. Because she fits in Bravos. I really think she... Because, like I said, I don't like Marine... Marine, oh my god. I don't like Daenerys in Marine, but I like Arya in Bravos. I think it fits her. She's been destined to go there since she met Cesario. They kind of worked...
Sidio Farel.
They work well together, and I think it's going to happen. So, that's my big prediction, is I think she's going to become something else, and she's not going to become no one.
No.
I know it's a very easy prediction, but that's all I can think of.
I don't think no one is a possibility for her.
I don't think so either. And if it is, I feel like it would go against her character, even though it's getting rid of her character. She just can't.
Yeah.
Her character is too strong. She's too strong of a fucking character. All right. All right, so we're almost done. But speaking of Marine, we're actually going to go to Marine now.
Yes.
And we're going to go to Tyrion.
This might actually be the storyline I'm most excited about.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I loved Tyrion as Hand of the King.
Oh yeah, that was his best fucking.
That was his best.
Yeah, and that was. But you know what though? You know what was his best thing about being Hand of the King? He was with Varys.
Yeah.
And now he's also with Varys.
Varys.
So fucking. Anyway, so he's a Marine with basically. Grey Worm is basically the leader of Marine, kind of.
Pretty much. He's gonna be like the figurehead.
He's like the figurehead, and Tyrion's basically. Like Joffrey was the figurehead.
And
Tyrion was doing calling all the shots and doing all the shit. I don't think it's gonna happen here.
King shits in the hand wipes.
Yeah, basically. I think Grey Worm is gonna have because Grey Worm's fucking awesome, dude. I fucking love Grey Worm. I think he's gonna be doing what I mean has a role to provide.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be Tyrion basically and Varys running the shit with Grey Worm. Now let's talk about Marine. Because Marine has a shit ton of problems. In the book, and not in the show, Marine actually has a huge disease outbreak. Like a terrible disease outbreak.
Oh.
And I think the Sons of the Harpy might exist in the books, but basically the Sons of the Harpy takes care of that. And the Sons of the Harpy are obviously still a problem. We see them in the trailer. So I think that's not Daenerys' problem anymore. I think that's Tyrion's problem now.
Yes.
Tyrion and Grey Worm and Varys
and I think Tyrion's experience will lead him to deal with the Sons of the Harpy a lot better than Daenerys ever could have.
You're right. So do you think that this is his place now? Do you think Tyrion is not forever in Marine, but basically like this is kind of going to be his home for a while? By a while I don't mean one season. I mean like maybe 2 or 3 seasons. Like this might be his new home.
No, I don't think this is where he's going to end.
Right.
I think this is a huge step
Turnaround
in his character.
Yeah.
From he's been like drunk and all that, and he's still gonna be drunk. That's beside the point.
That's never gonna change.
But he finally is getting to lead again, and that is what he's meant to do.
Oh, absolutely, I completely agree.
And since he's leading here, he is now getting even more experience than what he has, and great things are to come from Tyrion.
Mm-hmm.
If he can get into the position to lead.
Yeah. I think that this is not necessarily going to be his home. I think his home's always obviously going to be Westeros. But I think that I think this is going to not that he's going to be here until the very end. But I think this is almost like his new permanent, meaning I put that in air quotes, meaning like because it's not permanent, but it's like permanent in terms of like he's not going to go there and ditch. Like this is his new calling almost. And I feel like this is really going to showcase his abilities, and this is really going to be. I think maybe he might end up here. I wouldn't be shocked because he can't really go back to Westeros King's Landing because he'll be killed. Because he killed his dad.
Yeah.
I think his plot will almost end in Essos. Almost kind of has to, because he kind of, you know what I mean. Everyone kind of gets when they get.
Well, I mean, unless of course Daenerys' plot ends in Westeros, which that's
true.
That's what it's been leading to.
That's true.
And if Daenerys takes Westeros, then he actually
true.
has a place.
That's true. But we're gonna go back to the point. This is Game of Thrones, and that's too predictable.
Yeah.
I think that's too predictable. But the whole, I don't know. We'll see with the Tyrion. I'm very excited Tyrion thing, but we'll see how he rules. But also, I think another big question is I'm gonna put this down for a second. What is Tyrion to do with the dragons? Because that's gonna be huge. Because he saw the dragons in season 5, and he was like, "What the fuck?" He was like, "The fuck is this shit? Like, that's a dragon? That's a fucking shit." So I think that, and in the trailer we do see him with the 2 dragons. I think now the dragons are split. I think Drogon is gonna be with Daenerys and that whole deal. Like I said, with the whole Bran Stark thing, he'll be involved and whatever, and the whole thing. And I think the other 2 dragons are gonna be like a Marine now. And I think Tyrion almost kind of has to, like, because he was saying they don't do well in captivity. I think he's gonna try to not like get them out of captivity and try to like get them to help his cause. But I think he does have it. I think Tyrion has a huge interest in dragons, because we kind of saw that in his facial expressions. I think he is very interested in the dragons. So I'm excited to see what he does with the dragons.
Yeah, I don't know. It looked like it was a very dangerous situation having those dragons chained up and going into the chamber with them. It's just, how long can a dragon survive without fucking food, though?
Well, it never said that she never. It's not like they were never fed, because they were fed, and they probably are still fed. But you know, maybe Tyrion. I mean, I'll not really specify. Maybe ignore that. Whatever. Maybe Tyrion can connect to the dragons better than Daenerys can. I mean, I think she can connect the Drogon. She can't, but she's trying to, because she has to blood the dragon.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, he has interest in the dragons, and I think the dragons are gonna have, especially those 2 dragons. Because to be honest, those 2 dragons were always kind of shit on by Drogon.
Yeah.
He always was kind of like the big shot, the one who grew the fastest, the one everyone wanted. You know what I mean? The one that was really cool, hip. Mm-hmm. But I think that these 2 dragons have always got kind of been shit on, and I think that they're kind of gonna shine.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna wipe that shit off, and we're gonna see the shiny scales of a dragon, and we're gonna have fun with Tyrion and dragons.
I think that Daenerys, ever since the end of season 1, when the eggs hatched, and she became the mother of dragons,
right?
I think she's always felt entitled to the dragons. Like,
well, she has the blood of the dragons.
Well, she does, but she's always felt like, no matter what, she should be controlling these dragons. But dragons are not something that is very easily controlled.
Right.
So that's kind of where her disconnect with the dragons happened, when they started to grow larger, and she had to lock them up when Drogon disappeared. But Tyrion has a different kind of respect for the dragons.
Right.
Whereas he is small and they are large.
Right.
So he knows to give them quite a wide berth.
Yeah.
But he's always been mega crafty.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like taming and domesticating an animal.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just Tyrion seems like he's not going to take it for granted. No. Like Daenerys kind did it.
I don't think she took it for granted. I just think she couldn't control them. And I think she just couldn't. She had so much shit to deal with, and she was just kind of like, I need to lock these motherfuckers up, because they're fucking getting in my way of the dick with Dario.
She couldn't manage everything and trying to control the dragons.
Right. Dragons are fucking impossible to control. But you can see her desire, at least with Drogon, to connect with the dragons. You can see that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Big prediction with this plotline. I think Tyrion is gonna get the control of the dragons by the end of the season. Maybe not.
maybe not.
Who the fuck knows? I think that he's gonna be there, not permanently, but I think this is gonna be his new home for now. I think that he's gonna be established here with Varys, and I think that him and Varys are gonna, be fucking like dealing with the shit. They gotta deal with the son of the Harpy, the dragon. They have a lot of things on their plate.
Yep.
And there's no way Daenerys can do that and, you know what I mean, do what she had to do. So they kind of split the plot.
Yeah.
Daenerys
they definitely split the plot pretty well.
Having her own thing, and then obviously the Marine now falling in the hands of Tyrion, which I think I like.
Yeah.
I didn't like Daenerys and a Marine, like I said, because she just feel like she belonged there. But Tyrion absolutely will. I think he will be fine.
She didn't believe. She
Right.
didn't belong with the culture of Marine.
Right. All right, we're almost talking about everything. We got our last thing, and I almost didn't include this because everyone's talking about it, but we are going to talk about Jon Snow.
Yes.
You haven't even mentioned Jon's. I don't think we did. Maybe we did.
We mentioned him.
We might have mentioned it
about
with Sam, yeah, but I hope we didn't because Jon Snow. Let me just say, I love Jon Snow.
Yes.
I fucking love him, and I think his role in season 5 and 4, even really just after 3, because he lived with the wildlings. His role was to basically get the wildlings to the other side of the wall, so the army of dead won't grow larger, and to protect them because he realizes that he's the only one in the Night's Watch, maybe besides Sam.
Who realizes that the Wild Wings are also human beings.
But he doesn't have the influence that Jon Snow has. I mean, Jon Snow literally became Lord fucking Commander. So I think that
Thank
he
you,
is.
Maester Aemon, for your final vote.
Yeah, that actually didn't happen. In the books, like, he destroyed. But yeah, that was a little weird too. I found that, like, really 1-by-1 vote. Like, all right, that's a little cliche, but whatever.
I mean, it kind of makes more sense that they killed him with it being close like that.
Sure.
So, I don't know.
I guess. But no, I think that Jon Snow's purpose was to lead the wildlings. Not like Mance Rayder, but was to, like, help them. Because he's the only one I told you gives a fuck about him.
Yeah.
So that was his new role. And then in the trailer, we saw what's his name? A wildling with the beard. Tormund, yeah. I think that
Tormund.
yeah, I love him, man. He said in the trailer, like, yeah, Jon Snow's dead. He's no longer I thought he was the one to help us, lead us out of this darkness, but he's not. We need a new savior. And people are probably like, well, just get to the question, and we are. A lot of people are asking, they're asking the wrong question. They're asking, is Jon Snow dead? And that's yes.
Yes, he's dead.
Yes, he's fucking dead. It's so obvious. He got stabbed like a bunch of times. We saw him bleed out. Jon Snow's fucking dead. And I think people are like, will he be revived? So we're going to talk about this. We're going to go into this. And I think we're going to have different answers. But we're going to start with you. Do you think he is going to be revived? If so, do you think it's going to be through what people's theories are? That's going to be Melisandre? Or do you think it's going to be like through Beric done.
Well, really, it's Thoros of Myr.
No, Thoros of Myr is...
Thoros of Myr is the one who revives Beric Dondarrion.
Right. Thoros of Myr can use... Yeah, maybe, right. So do you think it's going to be Thoros of Myr, or do you think... Because she did run into them, and that... I mean, why else would she run into them? She did run into them to get Gendry, but maybe there's more to that? So do you think he's going to be revived? That's the question. And if so, do you think it's going to be this season? Or do you think it's going to be near the end of the season? What do you think his role is? And I mean, I know he's dead now, but he still has purpose as a dead body. Like, he still has a role, almost.
This is a really tough one.
All right, so let me start off with you. Do you think biggest question? This is obviously the biggest. Everyone's been asking this. I'm kind of sick of hearing it because it's like, look, I care more. To be honest, I care more about Bran Stark than I do Jon Snow. I love Jon Snow, but I want you to answer because I'll give my answer first. I'm sure my answer is going to be a little less satisfying. But do you think he's gonna be revived?
I hope he is.
You hope so. So do I. I think everyone hopes so.
I don't think he will be, though.
You don't think he will be revived?
No.
You know what? I'm actually with you on that. I don't think so either. And a lot of people are like, well, no, of course he's going to be Jon Snow. Everyone loves him.
And that's why I think he's not going to be
That's
revived.
exactly why I think he's not going to be. I think that'd be too cheap at this point.
Yeah.
When they killed Ned Stark, they didn't bring him back. The only character they brought back was Catelyn.
Which they didn't in the show.
And she became Lady Stoneheart.
Yes.
Which is an entirely different character.
Yeah.
It's not really Catelyn. So if Jon Snow is revived, let's say, he wouldn't really be Jon Snow anymore. Maybe he will.
Well, I mean, Beric Dondarrion's been revived, and he's still Beric Dondarrion.
That's true. That's true.
So
That's true. Again, Lady Stoneheart. I'm reading the books right now. I haven't got to that part yet. Yeah.
look at my bees on the way for it.
Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Beric Dondarrion.
Beric. Fuck. All right. I really do think that I don't know, man. I think that Beric is.
Honestly, I think it would be a cop out for them to revive him.
I think so, but I don't think so. All right, now before we get into that, we'll give our final answers. Right now it's no, but maybe we'll change. Now let's just ask this: if he is brought back, is he the big question? Is he released from the Night's Watch? Because you serve the Night's Watch until you die, and technically speaking, he died. So is he released from the Night's Watch?
Even if he's not, he's leaving the Night's Watch. I think.
But
what's like in his mind when they betrayed him, he was just like, well, that was all for nothing. Fuck all of you.
I don't think so. I don't think that's John's character, because his role. Where else would he go? His role is to lead the wildlings. His role is to lead the wildlings. Is to help the wildlings. He belongs in the North. I don't think. I just don't. And that's the best way is through the Night's Watch. So I don't know. I don't know. I just think either way. So if they bring him back, I think it will feel like almost like a cop out. But they would have to add a twist to it. Like, they couldn't just bring him back and he'll be Jon Snow again. Like, maybe they'll bring him back and, like, he'll be slowly dying. Not slowly dying, but there has to be something. There has to be something. Like, a consequence or something. So it just didn't feel like it was a cop-out. Also, what's happening with Ghost, too? Because now it's Ghost. Who the fuck? Is Ghost going to go with, like, Davos now? Or where's Ghost going to go? Because I actually like
Ghost is the first direwolf to die.
I was very scared. I thought Ghost was dead. Yeah. That scared the fuck out of me because I saw pictures of it in the trailer with Jon Snow lying, Ghost behind him. I thought he was dead, but in the clip that we saw, that's why I showed you that clip. He's alive.
Yeah, I mean, Ghost is the only direwolf.
It's important, really. Summer's probably the most important direwolf, actually. To
still be alive after their owner's dead, because Nymeria gone and Lady's dead and Grey Wind is dead. Summer's with Bran and Shaggy Dog is with Rickon.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then
Ghost
is alive, and where Jon Snow is, but Jon Snow's dead.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think that I don't know. Well, Ghost is. We'll see. Ghost can.
No, but the real question. Yeah. Going into season 6.
Yes.
Where's Nymeria?
Sean, put a little like silly noise after Bob asked that. Put like a wow, something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Something like that. Let's just put a wacky, zany noise after that. After Bob said that. All right, all right. So we're almost done. We kind of answered: would he be released from the watch? Yes, maybe, but he'd probably leave anyway.
Yeah.
We know his role. So if he is brought back. You know what I mean? That's his role. But I think when we talk about Jon Snow, we're not really going to talk about Davos, but we got to talk about Melisandre here.
Yeah.
What's her fucking importance? Because she, this whole time, is like, Stannis is the fucking guy. Stannis is the dude. Stannis this. Stannis that.
I think
Stannis
she's now going to question her faith. Because,
will she? Because she kind of knew. She knew all along whether she was telling the truth. She knew whether this was the truth or not. I mean, there's no way that she was like...
Well, but she said in the first trailer that she was shown the battle in the flames, and then Stannis died. So
maybe it's a different battle of the flames?
It could
be. With dragons? Oh, that's what I'm
predicting, by the way. I think it's going to be dragons, but maybe, I don't know.
The fact is that she thinks that was the battle.
Right.
So she could have a crisis of faith.
Yeah, and maybe John. Okay, so we do know that Davos has an interest in the North now. So it's Dance. They realize the real battles in the North against the White Walkers. They realize that. Melisandre is the fire.
Yeah.
And they're the ice. So ice and fire, whatever. Maybe she's the one to kind of lead against the White Walkers, but she needs Jon Snow's help. I don't really know where she's going. They barely show. I think all the footage they showed her were in like the first few episodes.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it showed anything near the end. So I don't know. I think that she's gonna be important, but I don't know. So we're gonna go back to Jon Snow, and I'm gonna go ahead and say, I want him to come back, but at the same time, I don't want Jon Snow gone. Like, just imagine Game of Thrones without Jon Snow. It's sad. It's sad. It really, actually, like honestly, I think Jon Snow, like having the show without Jon Snow is much more sad than having the show without Ned or having the show without.
It's like having The Simpsons without Homer Simpson.
Nah, well,
maybe without Bart.
I would say without having The Simpsons without. I don't know. I haven't watched Simpsons in a long time, man.
Flanders, I guess.
No, he's more of like I guess Marge, kind of.
Okay.
But even then, I don't know. I don't like Marge. But whatever. He's like he's. It's just I don't know. Having the show without him is gonna be sad if he's not coming back. And they keep saying, "Oh, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead." Because no shit, he is dead. It's just a question of whether he's coming back or not. And I hope he is. But at the same time, I hope he's. All right. Look, I hope he is. I hope he. It would be a cop out, but it will be satisfying. But if it's not, then it will follow the show. It will kind of be inconsistent if they brought him back. But at the same time, like I said, if they can somehow put a consequence, like, oh, he's back, but blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? I think then that would be fine. There has to be the action of killing him has to have some consequence. I think it has to be really serious.
Definitely. I don't know. It'd be interesting to find exactly what the Night's Watch meaning was behind them killing Jon Snow.
Yeah. So all right, we'll finish it off with that.
Yeah.
That's what we'll finish it off with. So in the books, it hasn't really been explained because it happened in the end. So in the books, I guess Ramsay sent a letter. Mm-hmm. So in the books, Jon Snow is actually more involved with fighting against the Boltons in a way. Okay. Because he wants Arya back. So we have a lot to explain. In case you haven't read the books and just saw the show, if you know, whatever. So in the book, we got a lot to talk about here. So in the book, Sansa's still in the Eyrie, and Sansa's friend Poole, Jane Poole.
I'm not sure.
Jean Poole, Sansa's best friend,
is posing as Arya.
Is posing as Arya in Winterfell. Theon knows it's Arya, and you know how Theon and Sansa escapes in the show. Well, in the books, is him and Jean escape. But yeah, no, Jon Snow thinks Arya's there because Ramsay, kind of sent out like, "Hi, I got Arya." Jon Snow's Lord Commander, because Jon's in the show, it's like, "Oh, you can't deal with like these other affairs, so you're done." Yeah. But in the book, he is. He never really is told that. I think they just don't have time. They kind of want to do other things. So in the books, he's kind of like trying to deal with that shit. So Ramsay sends a letter called the pink letter, red letter. I think it's pink letter.
So just to clarify, the letter that Ramsay Bolton sends to Jon Snow is indeed called the pink letter. The letter is delivered to Jon Snow. It is addressed to Bastard and is sealed with a pink sealing wax, which House Bolton actually uses. It's basically it's Ramsay Bolton being like, "Yo, come at me, motherfucker. You know what I mean? I'm gonna fucking kill you, yo. Fuck you." And basically, the theory is that letter kind of convinced people to kill Jon Snow or conspire against him. It's never really directly stated since he dies at the very end, but it's basically, kind of assumed a theory, if you will. Anyway, back to the podcast. Now, in the series, it seems it's implied that they're killing him because of the wildlings. What's his face? Ollie?
Ollie, yeah.
Ollie's involved, who is a TV-only character. Mm-hmm. He's involved in this because, he fucking, rightfully so, is terrified and kind of, not racist, but, the wildlings kind of did some bad shit, so he has a stigma that they're all terrible people. Jon Snow knows it's not true. Mm-hmm. So Jon Snow is trying to, stop this wildling. Stop this fucking, this bullshit, like all the wildlings are good people. And Ollie's kind of like taken aback by that and be like, this fucking guy. So it's kind of implied right now they killed him because he was helping the wildlings. Which I think is probably still the case, but it could be with Ramsay. I don't know if Ramsay's going to get involved. I think he has his own shit to deal with. Yeah. But, yeah, so I final point is well, not the final point, because we want to talk about one more thing. Not really a plot point, but final thing is I don't want Jon Snow to be dead. I just think I think he's dead. I think it's fine if he doesn't get revived. I'd be fine with it. I'd be sad because I really like Jon Snow, but they can't just bring him back and then be like, that's it. We brought him back at the end. Like, they need to do more shit. And it's too predictable at this point. Yeah. And it's not the show. It's not the show creators' fault. It's not the story. It's not their fault. It's just that everyone is just saying that. So I feel like just because everyone's saying that, it just can't be true at this point. Because it kind of sucks. If it happens, it'd be like, oh, we saw this coming. Yep.
That's exactly what we thought it would be.
Yep. Great.
But all right. There's a point where it's hard to do anything other than what's expected.
Right.
So.
Well, I'm excited. There's a lot of stuff we didn't talk about. I'm excited to see what Brienne of Tarth and Podrick are doing. I'm excited to see what's going on with the Greyjoys across, because they're important in the season. I'm excited to see what's going on with the Greyjoys.
Yep.
I'm excited to see what's going on with some other characters, some other zany characters, as they say. I'm excited. So we need to get to cover everything, but only out of the stuff we covered today, out of the 10 topics we covered today. If you want me to run down the list again, I can do that. But if not, I want you to tell me what, if you can, if you can't do a top 3, it's fine, but at least do it on number 1.
I can do a top 3.
Alright. That you're most excited for. Top 3 plots that you're either most excited for or most looking forward to. Might not be the best, but the ones that you're looking forward to the most.
Excited for.
Do number 3 first.
My number 3.
Yep.
I would put that as probably seeing what happens with the Tyrells and
Tyrells and the Faith Militant. Alright, now I'm going to say my number 3 is going to be Arya Stark. What's going on with her?
My number 2 is what's going on with Jon Snow up in the north.
Jon Snow up in the north. My number 2 is going to be Sansa. What's going on with fucking Sansa?
Okay. And my number 1, that it's not really I'm looking forward. Well, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
It's not really like a big thing, but it's
anticipated.
I'm like really excited for it to happen, and it's
what?
Tyrion and Marine.
Yeah. I can see that being number 1. My number 1 is actually Bran Stark. Our number 3 have none of the same, which is awesome. We covered 6. The only thing that wasn't in our top 3 was Sam and Gilly, which just seems a little downscale, but that could be interesting. Jorah and Dario, which whatever makes sense. Dany with the Dothraki, and Dorne. But we pretty much covered everything else. Mm-hmm. So that's it. So our next episode, or our next podcast episode, is probably going to be next week. Is going to be after next week from when this is being uploaded. That is
after the
season premiere
episode.
I can't express how much I'm excited for the season premiere. So when the season premiere comes out, I know this was kind of a long one because we had a lot to cover, but there's no promise that those are going to be short either because there might be a lot to cover. Those will be about a weekly thing. We'll do one every week. We'll just cover what happened in the episode, and at the very end, we'll do a little what we think is going to happen next episode. Not as long as this, obviously.
That'll probably
only of what's going to happen next. No, I'm talking about so what we're going to do is we'll probably have probably an hour of talking about what happened in the episode and what we thought of, critique it, say what we liked, what we didn't like, what shocked us, what didn't, and then we'll kind of do a little 5 or 10 minutes of predicting what we think is going to happen in episode 2.
Yeah.
That's it. Thanks for watching. You can follow us on Twitter at Westeros After. I think it's at Westeros After because I couldn't fit it after hours. I think it's just Westeros After. There'll be a link in the description. Yeah. Also like us on Facebook. That'd be great. And subscribe.
Subscribe to the channel.
To us. So thank you guys for watching or listening rather. And be sure to look out for our episode next week and check out season 6 or check out if you never see. I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure everyone listening has seen Game of Thrones, but just I can't recommend it enough.
You're welcome, Sean.
Yeah. Thank you for it. He's the one who got me in. So thanks, guys, for listening, and we'll see you next week.
We will see you after the season premiere.
Yeah. Bye.